All right, and welcome to This Week in Jump. I'm Turo.
And I'm Ryan. And this week we'll be going off of my list.
Alrighty, I actually got a little bit prepared today, so I'm actually happy to get into this because I usually just wing it to get more heartfelt kind of opinion. But now I'm doing the analytic side of this.
Having notes or something to reference. It's good to have that just because remembering every single name is almost impossible because there's a lot of series. Like this week, there was a lot to remember.
Yeah.
So, starting off with number 18, Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs. This chapter was basically Oboro's chapter, and it started off with Oboro and Yuna bathing in the hot spring, going over how she was jealous of how Yuna has really bad sleeping habits. We all know that, and that even though she keeps exposing herself to Kogarashi, he doesn't have any real interest in it, and she's the one getting seduced instead of him being seduced. And how she wants there to be a security, making sure that everybody is safe and there's no war that's going to break out, because Kogarashi and Yuna are basically the deterrents of a entire war breaking out between like every single faction.
Yeah, because Chisaki eventually forgets about this war, but she right now still has that information to relay to everyone she knows because it involves all of them. And she wasn't just jealous of Yuna, she was jealous of all of the people in the inn.
Yes. She doesn't want. If she was just the mistress, she wouldn't be able to really do anything because everybody wants to be with him. There's, I think, like 8 or 9 people who are like infatuated with him right now.
Yeah.
And so she comes to the conclusion that the best solution for everybody is just to basically create a shogun's harem.
Yeah.
Oh, it was already a
everyone
harem.
gets pregnant. Everyone is
Carrying his kid.
carrying his kid, treated equally, and everyone is just blank faced when she tries telling them that.
But they're all selfish because why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't you just want that person just for yourself?
Yeah.
And everybody rejects her proposal.
Most people
Some people like,
are
oh,
halfway.
okay, yeah. I was gonna say, but nobody's like 100% for it, other than her saying it.
And she just pouts there at the end. Like, I tried giving you guys what you wanted, and me too, and you guys said no, so I'm just gonna pout. I love her. I love her character. I love her hair, her eye patch, everything. I love how loyal she really is.
Mm-hmm.
But too much seriousness just doesn't fit here.
No. Oh, and one minor side note. Apparently, because Yuna has basically said that, oh, well, Chisaki's probably the best person for Kogarashi because she's a human. But it turns out Yuna can actually have a kid with him because of how spiritually inclined.
Powerful, yeah.
Yeah.
How spiritually powerful she is. If it was any lesser
too.
kind of yokai, probably wouldn't work. But we've seen children born of dragons and humans in one of the panels. Like, why not a ghost of a deity and a human as well? Huh.
Yeah. So that's like the major development that happens out of that entire thing. Moving on to the next one, we have number 17, We Never Learn. The lipstick for Fumino.
Oh, yes.
Her dad gives her lipstick for... They call it lip gloss, but it's lipstick.
It's lipstick.
It's lipstick. And she doesn't know how to react to it. And her dad teases her, oh, what, are you not of that age yet where you're going around?
Yeah, because the tagline of this lipstick is, it's meant for kissing.
Yeah. And then she goes to the library wearing it. I guess she wasn't thinking, oh, well, I'm going to see Naruyuki here.
Yeah, she just, like a girl should, she just wants to look pretty, and when she has the confidence of herself, thinking she is pretty, she will portray that to other people.
And then she's studying there with Kominami, the pixie.
Yeah.
And she gets teased for it. Oh, you're wearing that for Naruyuki? And she's like, what? I wasn't wearing that for him. Maybe I was, if I hadn't even had my first kiss. And she remembers the play
Yeah.
where you had In the other translation, they called it Neapolitan. I prefer Neapolitan because I think it's funnier.
Yeah.
Napoleon Z. Because a little kid's walking around with a book. She
Yeah.
sees it and freaks out because it's like, how did that come into reality?
Uh-huh.
Once Naruyuki gets there, Kominami has to go to work, so
Uh-huh.
she leaves them by themselves.
Yeah. And
Oh, and she also drops the bomb that he was in the suit of the Napoleon Z.
yeah, where she
Didn't know that at all.
had no idea.
And then she acts very stiff.
And here's the start of misunderstandings that happen so often.
Everybody is thinking that they're on the same page, which makes it believable. Like it's something that happens all the time whenever you don't give context. So, in that regard, I always like the comedy that they do. Naruyuki thinks that it's because he didn't notice the lipstick because he sees it there after she left because she was acting weird.
And maybe she got frustrated with him not noticing that she just walked away from him.
And then washed her face and got rid of it.
Yeah.
And then she starts asking him questions. And the misunderstandings continue. And then once he says that, oh, well, it looks really good on you, towards the end, he puts the lipstick on her because she makes a kissing face.
Yeah. She thinks it's to kiss him again.
Yes.
For real this time. And he wants to give a genuine reaction to her having beautiful lipstick on.
Because he didn't notice. Because
Yeah.
it was a trap.
Yeah.
And then she eventually says, I thought we were talking about from the festival to kiss. And then he was like, what? And then they both prostrate themselves.
Yeah. Just saying how sorry each other is.
But it seems like she did enjoy the kiss from before, even though it was like through a mask.
Through a mask and, for play. But another girl, he's
got to pick one.
He's got to pick one. And
Who do you want him to be with?
what was it? Either swimsuit girl
Uraka?
There we go. Or Robin worker.
The Uran. Rizu. Rizu's glasses, larger chest.
Yeah.
Udon is, or not Udon, swimmer is Uraka.
Yeah. Either one
Girl.
of those two, I would be happy with him.
Happy with him?
Yeah.
This is going to be controversial for you, because I know you probably put this a lot higher on yours. Number 16, Yui Kamio Lets Loose.
Okay. Yeah. I did put this a lot higher for me.
I'll let you explain why you put it higher. I'll explain why I put it here on mine.
We're getting some of these characters fleshed out. We get a beautiful nickname, Ebi. Case in point, Shrimp. We have Yui Kamio, and his name it was Kito.
Kiito. It's like Kiito.
So Kito, Ebi, Yui, like simple names. They're easier to remember. I still need some getting used to it, but I like it. Plus, it's just like slice of life, and now just knowing kind of Kito's kind of character gives him half of her stock of chains to essentially bring her back to the white version of herself. You don't just trust someone like that just right off the bat.
I know you helped me just now, but we're cool.
But it's crazy having that amount of trust to just random person. But I guess you're in this. You're going to be in this maybe for the rest of your life. Good luck. I'm loving the interactions. I'm loving the fight, the delinquents chasing Yui in black form.
That was last week, though.
Yeah. Well, this one is a different kind of delinquent. This is a karate participant, I guess, because she fought Yui Kamio black version and got her ass handed to her when she was a child, and pretty much has been ruined that part of her life for her.
I personally like that his chair for his when he was sitting in class was a gaming PC
Oh
chair.
yeah.
And like one of his classmates even points it out. Is just like, is that a gaming chair? But yeah, we have the trendy girl who was the karate delinquent,
Yeah.
and she's very flirtatious with him the entire time. Like, oh, you're very handsome. Hey, don't go. Come with me.
Yeah, and she's a very beautiful looking girl. She could probably be passed off as an idol, like in her own right.
True. I could see her being a reoccurring character.
Yeah.
And so you have the interactions, and you have Kito trying to keep her from finding out that Yui is the same Yui, because she almost reveals her entire name when she bumps into them and is just like, oh, I'm Yuika, and then he cuts her off.
Yeah.
And he winds up having to show her around the school to get them away from Yui. And what was her actual name? Mai Nguyen. I'll just call her Mai. So Mai is the trendy girl, the karate girl. Yeah, she was a karate genius, and she had multiple boyfriends. All the boys in that picture looked like they didn't know what was going on for the most part. They're just kind of there.
Yeah.
And especially after she loses, they're just kind of like dumbstruck, or I guess they weren't expecting her to lose.
Also, young boys, when they see a girl that they held in high regard, highly respected, just lose or like knocked out or crying, it's like, yeah, you're gonna lose some of that respect. You're gonna lose some of the things you liked about them, because they're little boys. They don't have the adult feelings of, oh, maybe I should go comfort her or anything like that, or like, oh, this is just a small thing, like I'm still gonna be her friend and be close to her. No,
Right.
They're little kids. They're so impressionable that they're going to imprint on Yui Kamiya.
And we also have the fact that, so you mentioned the everything. I was like, oh, it's because of her hair.
Yeah, red
It
hair.
literally shapes to look like a piece of sushi with the shrimp on top of it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was great. And then she busts through the wall looking for her, and apparently she was in her dark form. And then she's like, oh, she's found out by Mai, who takes the chain out of her hair
Because she
because she wants to put a ribbon in it because it doesn't look cool
Yeah.
with the chain.
And then Yui Kamiya immediately recognizes Mai.
Uh-huh.
And she's not angry, she's not mean like the other delinquents. She has respect for her. Like, she's talking to her like a good friend. But
Yeah.
she remembers her full name.
Yes.
Like, that's out of respect.
Yeah, she even like phrase a pretend punch.
Yeah.
And apparently I guess they're going to have a showdown in the next chapter.
Even though Yui Kamiya she's just having fun. She's not angry, she's not running away. She thinks she's just met an old friend. And she teases Kito a little bit just because she knows he likes her. But it's not the
It's
black
not.
version, it's the white version that he
The
really
nice
likes.
girly version.
So, yeah, let's throw down. And now it's just leaving it up to Kito. I put this quite a bit higher on mine, but I like this kind of story. I like these kinds of interactions.
It's still good. Just because it's low on my list or on the list in general does not mean that the series is bad. It's definitely something I would continue reading even if I wasn't doing this. It's not boring. I don't feel like it's a chore to read. I've only ever felt like that with maybe like one or two series that I've really ever picked up. Because usually I get interested with the manga cover for the volume, or if it has like a color spread for like its first chapter, and I'm like, huh, let me see what this is. And if it actually interests me, I'll keep pursuing it.
Yeah. Yui Kamiya Lets Loose gives me a lot of feels of early Rosario Vampire, where the covers were very, very bland, but the story was there and it got better, but it was a bit more of a chore to read. This is reading a lot faster. The cover pages still need a little bit of work, but the story is there and the comedy
I like the
is
art
there.
direction.
Yeah, the hair and the chains are like the main thing that are pointed out to me. Also, no one in quite a while, has put this much detail into just regular clothes for their
Oh,
characters.
yeah.
Kito's wearing something different every day, like a normal person does.
Instead of coming to school with the same. Well, I mean, it's just a school, so they typically have like a school uniform. But yeah, like if he was out in the everyday, you would see him probably in the same T-shirt. It's how they draw like the Simpsons. Homer's wearing the same shirt,
Yeah,
or with a lot of other anime series, you have Naruto in the same outfit
yeah.
just about every time until like
This
there's
is
a time
a
skip.
little bit more real, and I like it. Alrighty. So
It's a nice subtle touch.
one that's you were saying a chore to read. It's your next one.
Really, I thought this was a much better chapter. All right.
We'll see.
Okay, so next, very disgruntled for Turo. Number 15, The Last Sayuki. I did enjoy this chapter. I enjoyed it because we see that to keep her safe, they basically have to keep Koharu under wraps. So I'm going to just abbreviate his name to Ryu because it's a lot easier to say.
Yeah.
So Ryu inadvertently had told his friend of like what happened and what was going on in the previous days, and he's worried because his dad says, well, did you tell anybody? And he's like, well, yeah, I did. Okay, well, then we'll have to take care of him. And he thinks that he has to kill him, and he's like, well, no, that's not what I meant. His friend's name is Shigi.
So he gives him a call, trying to invite him over, just so they can talk about the situation. And when the mother picks up and kind of tells him, "Oh, what did you hear from him?" Like, "Oh, that you had like an incurable disease. I'm glad you're feeling better." Like, that is a good friend.
Yeah.
And we find out later, a little bit later, why he is such a good friend, and why when we see some of the things that come up later turn tragic.
So, Ryu actually feels bad for even doubting his friend for like saying anything about Koharu. So he introduced the idea of what a friend is, and Koharu's like, I have no idea, basically no idea what that is. She shows like confusion with her face, and then we see that why they're such good friends. He's like, well, you're not supposed to rank your friends, but he'd probably be his best friend. They always played together. And then after his mom died, he was the only person who treated him like nothing had happened, like it was just normal. Let's just go out and play.
have fun and play. You know, like, we don't have to talk about it if you don't want to talk about it. We're just going to live our lives the same way we always have. But that's what really broke him, is he was the one who treated him not as if nothing had happened, but didn't treat him differently, even though he was going through such stress.
Yes. So, that being said, he was able to get to grips and come to terms with his mother's passing and get over that. And then Koharu kind of like shows like interest. Okay, but I don't think she can be friends. She thinks she can't be friends with anybody because she would basically be a burden or cause trouble for other people. And he's like, everybody causes trouble for other people. That's just a fact. But you can make friends because of how she puts herself out there for everybody else and tries to help people.
Yeah.
And then we get a little time skip of 2 days when Shigi's supposed to come back. The mom's bringing him. And you see Ryu's hair like lose color, and his face looks extremely even more pale than normal, which is saying something because like all the characters look very pale.
And you see Shigi with his, what was it,
Moo
box?
Yes, about to burst.
Yeah, and his mother's very normal. A little bit of fear in there, but for the most part, normal. And Shigi is on the verge of spontaneously combusting and being killed by that monster. And he knows, he's afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of some little boy speaking about, was it at the baseball?
Yeah, it was at the baseball camp.
Baseball camp. He was giving such a vivid detail of a story.
Numerabihion. That's the monster.
Okay.
In extreme detail.
From games and comics.
Yeah. I think I've seen that around.
So people were a little bit familiar of it, but not in such a grotesque and gross detail that he couldn't stop thinking about it, and
He basically made it feel real.
yeah, in which case he doesn't want to speak it out loud because even he knows that might make it real. Maybe not in the same sense, but the similarities to actual abilities is what he.
Yeah, we can also see that the boy who's doing this is the same boy from the previous chapter at the end, the one who was in the classroom who caused the entire class to die. At least
Yeah.
that's what the character design looks like.
Yeah.
His face is blacked out here, and they don't name him,
Yeah.
but I'm assuming that it's him. And Ryu's dad basically tells him, "It's okay. There's no such thing as monsters." But he just looks frightened the entire time. From the moment he shows up to Ryu's house to the moment that he's still in the room, just sitting there waiting by himself because they go and talk about how they're going to solve his problem. They determine that they just have to have his box be opened, or Koharu has to save him.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're going to open his box and release him to the world.
Yeah, without
and then
doing it forcefully,
Mhm.
because the other boy, he did it forcefully to these other students, and that's what caused that demon to appear and instantly kill the one that started it.
Yes.
We might actually see what her power is other than floating and making monsters real somehow, because we haven't seen her how she actually uses these kind of powers.
True.
Yeah, this is
So that's why I felt like it was like more interesting, was that whole aspect of, okay, I want to see how they're going to do that.
which we still didn't see, by the way.
It's a tease. It's a tease. I didn't think that they were gonna pull that. I thought that the kid was gonna come there and be normal, but no, he actually gave me a little tease of something. And for a new series, I have to give it more props for doing that. Next is number 14 with Food Wars.
For last week, someone raised their hand to go up against Saiba. Big surprise.
It's Soma.
It's Soma. And even so, he says that, oh yeah, no, everyone here might think that you're going to win, but I'm still gonna try. Like, I'm not gonna just give up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still gonna try to fight you. Nakiri's still gonna try and fight you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I don't care who you are.
And Megumi learns... Well, Megumi and Soma learn Arena's basically agreed to marry him if she loses to Saiba.
Yeah. Like, it was a spur of the moment kind of thing, but yeah, they kind of said it. But I don't think they have it written down anywhere, so I don't know how binding those could actually be.
Oh, you mean a verbal contract?
Yeah. For that kind of thing, no.
True.
Absolutely not.
We do see the bracket
Yeah.
for the Blue Grand Championship for once. I think we haven't seen it in a while, in detail anyway.
Yeah, so Saiba just needs 1 win. Yukihara needs 2.
Yep. And then they face each other.
Yeah, for the champion.
We'll touch more on that.
Arena just needs 1.
Yeah, but she had like all those matches back to back. You can see her
Yeah.
trees all just one after another, just for her to advance. And she feels that maybe he is the only one that can make them happier
Yeah.
because of their god tongue and provide something different. And I don't recall this guy with the glasses who's meeting with Saiba and anything else. His name is Yunosuke. And Yunosuke. Probably Suke. And he's Saiba thanks him for being able to get him into Totsuki for whatever reason, and he's wanting to get Arena. And we see that the god tongue was actually a curse, and that's why they always kind of dreaded it being in their family. Because eventually you wouldn't be able to eat anything. The smell of food would make you disgusted.
Maybe not the smell of food, but any kind of imperfection would lead to that. Oh, this cheese was out a little bit too long. I could smell this specific kind of mold that just started. now it makes me want to throw up. I can't even hold anything down. So that's why Arena's mother was just being fed through IV.
Yes.
Just such a sad way to really live.
I can't imagine not eating food.
Yeah.
So we have Irina as a child asking her grandfather when her mother's going to be able to come back, because he just tells her she needs time. And the fact that he doesn't really give an answer just shows that he knows that there probably will never be a time that she'll come back. So rather than give her false hope or a date approximately when she'll come back, he just opts to just give her silence. Further on the fact that she thinks that maybe she'll be happy if he wins, if Saiba wins.
Yeah, but Yukihara, like,
Nope.
no, I don't care what you think. I don't care if he's gonna make you happy. I'm going to win. He does.
Much. He doesn't care about their family members, or so he says.
Yeah, he cares about his friends. He cares, like, I'm gonna make food for my friends. Like, Arena is his friend. He's most likely, he doesn't say it directly, but he's most likely going to say, I'm going to make food that my friends like and will be able to enjoy. I'm not going to make anything that's bad for them. He wants to serve whoever is really hungry. He doesn't do it for the money. He doesn't do it to prove to other people that he is the best. He just feeds people because he wants to really feed them because they're hungry.
Then we flash. We skip the next 2 rounds.
I
was irritated.
These characters are so unimportant. The story is going so fast that we skip. This is semifinals and quarterfinals that we are just missing out on. These people who were on the same level as the people fighting Megumi, fighting Arena, fighting Saiba and Yukihara. These people are, in previous chapters, they're meaningless. They skip 2 Soma fights, one of Saiba's, and one of Arena's. Like, those people apparently who made it that far in the tournament do not matter. Yeah.
I was frustrated with that. I felt like the series is going way too fast right now.
Like,
it's skipping things.
It's skipping a lot. You can have a lot more character development, a lot of conflict that could start here. It can still grow so much more.
I guess this is the only rationale that I can come to for this conclusion that why they're doing this is for story wise. Soma, Saiba, and Arena are so much more powerful than everybody else in this tournament that they would basically be cannon fodder anyway. So it's just like bam, they win, bam, they win, bam, they win, and that's
apparently Megumi is
cannon
fodder.
So at least you got half a chapter, but that's what I can say for the other people.
Yeah.
So the other thing is that this might be from a just speculation. It could be from Jump's perspective, just to rush out Food Wars and just end it. This could be its final arc, period, where it just concludes and it's done. So you have the conclusion of the Soma, Saiba, and Arena storyline, and that's it. Because it's so fast, we're not even, like I said, like we were saying, you don't get anything else out of that. You don't get introduced to any new characters, you don't see any more interactions between the characters. I guess it's assumed that their motivations are just going to stay the same throughout the entire tournament.
You can't describe food, you can't describe cooking techniques.
Almost every time that I've watched Food Wars, both in anime and read the earlier chapters, it would make me hungry. This is not making me hungry.
Yeah. Other series that did that was Toriko.
Mm-hmm.
Toriko showcased the crunching of food, the preparation. They described how it tasted compared to real food or food in our realm, and it was delicious, and made me hungry. But this kind of story right now is not making me hungry for more of this kind of story.
Yeah, so we also see right before the fight, a fight that's coming, Yunosuke and put Soma, Saiba are talking again, and then Soma appears after to say, "You'll never be able to make Arena happy. We'll see." And then we see like everybody, most of the recurring faces, most of the judges we've seen before. You have Takumi, Megumi, and
the usual judges for the Shokugekis. You have
his father,
who is
the grandfather.
What's the meat girl?
Is that her? I honestly couldn't tell. I forgot her name. Bam, it's there.
Okay. And Soma's father.
Yeah. This is all the usual people, and then you see the double page spread saying Saiba versus Yukihira.
Yeah. Well, next chapter.
That might be good.
Might be really good. I hope it is, because last couple chapters you've let me down.
And thus concludes part 1. Stay tuned for part 2.